Hey everyone, excuse me. These are my thoughts on the chapter 6 questions for the boy in the striped pajamas. Number 1, how well is Bruno settling into his new home? Not very well, right? He complains about it constantly throughout the chapter, but if you look at page 56, he says, I hate this house. I hate my room. I even hate the paintwork. I hate it all, absolutely everything. Pretty much all you need to know. Question 2, describe Maria, the family maid. So Maria is very quiet, right? A lot of you pointed this out. She seems very careful about what she says to Bruno. I said you guys had really good answers to this. Her mother was family friends of Bruno's family, and so he kind of took her in when she needed a job. So she's very careful about not saying something that is going to get her in trouble with Bruno's dad. She's kind of trying to comfort him. She's trying to sort of convince him that everything in the house and where they're living now is okay, even though she also kind of knows that it really isn't. Number 3, does Bruno have a lot of respect for his father? Now, I would say no. It's not so much that he's disrespectful, but he's constantly questioning his father's judgment, right? He thinks that his father's made a mistake by bringing him there. And on page 59, he kind of mutters under his breath, stupid father. Again, it's kind of like he's a kid. He's just sort of expressing how he feels, but it comes off as maybe a little bit disrespectful towards his father, even if he's not outright, rude to his father directly. Okay, question 4 is asking you to explain how Bruno and Gretel treat Maria differently. This is one of those things that's important to be able to notice and make distinctions between. Bruno thinks that Maria is basically part of the family, right? He says that on page 58. But Gretel is very rude to Maria. Right? Bruno points out she's not. She comes up the stairs and she immediately starts asking Maria to run a bath for her, even though Maria's already busy unpacking Bruno's things. And Bruno kind of snaps back at her. She's not just here to do things for us all the time, especially things that we can do ourselves. It's on page 63. And on page 64, Bruno says that Gretel never stopped to think about the fact that Maria was a person with feelings just like hers. So Bruno understands that she's a person with feelings, and Gretel just sees her there as a servant to do whatever she asks her to do. Question 5, how do Bruno and Gretel treat father differently? This is one you kind of have to go back to look at, but throughout the story so far, we've seen that Gretel really likes the father a lot. If we go back to page 25, it says that, kind of in the middle there, it says that Gretel always spoke of father as if he could never do any wrong and never got angry. She really just respects the father. She says that even if they don't like it there, there's nothing they can really do about it. Father made this decision, so they just have to accept it. Whereas Bruno is more questioning. Right? Bruno's always asking why. He's always questioning his father's judgment about things. So where Gretel just more or less accepts the situation and whatever he says goes, Bruno it challenges him on it a